Carla?
We want you guys to know that this show is 18 and over, so we ask that anyone under 18 turn it off. Do not watch because it's definitely not for you. It is uncensored. We cuss a lot, so just know that. Anyway, today we have a very interesting show for you, as always. If you guys have been tuning in, you know we've been turning it up for you lately. We do have some very special guests here today, and we want to start off by introducing our first guest, Baguana. Come on out, Baguana. Hey, pretty lady. Hey, Baguana, why don't you tell us a little something about you?
I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I love this show, and this is my first time hosting and watching, being a part of it.
Thank you.
Tell them also what you do. I've been knowing Baguana since she for a long time, and she's worked
I'm a
with me
hairstylist
before.
as well, but I like to keep it pertaining to the show because I've never watched, been a part, hosted, commentated.
Okay. We're glad to have you.
All righty. And we have another special guest in the house. He has been calling and calling to get on the show. So
He must got a lot
we
to
calling
say.
him out. Yeah, he must got a lot to say. So we gonna definitely listen to him tonight. Come on out, GJ.
Hey. What's going on?
How y'all doing?
Finally got you out here.
Finally.
Yeah. He watches the show, every week, huh?
Yeah. You know, Facebook abuse.
Hey.
All right, GJ, tell the audience a little something about yourself.
A little bit about me. I'm from Cincinnati, live in Detroit, came back to Cincinnati. Work every day, try to make money, you know.
Okay.
Real simple. You know.
Okay.
All around nice guy. Okay. And that brings me to one of our topics tonight. Our topic is, do nice guys finish last?
Yes.
That's one of our topics. I believe it's partially true, but I'm going to let the guests give us their opinions. And then, of course, me and Carla, we going to do what we do. We pops in and out. So, what you think? We going to wait. We going to get to the good guy.
First? Oh, okay.
You know, that's what we do to the good guys. We're going to get to you last.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. So, go ahead, Baguana.
I feel that good guys do finish last. Always. I'm on the side with the good guys, so I don't attract bad guys or even really like to deal with them or hesitate with them. But at the same time, to each his own. But to me, the good guy definitely finishes last.
I mean, we hear it over and over and over that good guys finish last. Everybody says, the saying has been around for so long. The reason why I say partially is because I feel like it depends on the type of woman that you're dealing with. That's how I take it. I find some women saying that they want a nice guy, and when they get one, they treat him like crap.
Well, I say that because from not only a moral sense, a spiritual sense, just an all-around sense, but I say it because even when a good guy may not feel, quote unquote, he finished last or he get his due or respect or anything, love that we all want, you still in the end, it's incorporated, within you respectfully that you will eventually come into your own success, in all spheres. And what's for you is for you. Nobody can really, penetrate that or stop that, hate on it, block it. What's for you is for you. So, that's the aspect I speak, like, the good guy's always going to finish last.
Right.
In actuality, the good guy is like, it's better to be the bad guy than to actually be the good guy. So where are the good
No,
guys?
that's not.
To
I
me,
disagree
to
with
finish.
that. I disagree with that because if you a good guy pretending to be a bad guy, they gonna see right through you,
Yeah.
and either way you gonna lose.
Right.
My thing is, if you a good guy, you just have to be a great guy. You have to stand your ground. You can still be nice, but you have to stand your ground. You got to put your feet down because a lot of women like to run over good guys.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're a good guy. I've seen bottom of the barrel bitches get a good guy. and run him into the ground.
Oh yeah.
You know, I've seen it. I've seen somebody who had a good man. I mean, at the army, he good job, stayed home, never cheated, never did nothing, and she was a whore.
But he compromised. If you treating a bitch like a thoroughbred, then that's you making a fucked up decision because
Right.
you got this dog to protect your home. If this dog is like saying hi to the people walking back and forth, looking for, you know what I'm saying?
That's just like how a good woman she
Right.
put herself in her own predicament. So it's either you stay or you don't.
I call
Right,
them. I call them Mr. Agreeables.
Yeah.
Because they agree with everything that the woman say, or they agree with everything that the woman is doing,
The
just to try to
passiveness.
please
Right.
the
That's
woman.
passiveness.
Right.
And that's just, you know,
Right.
that's sugarcoat, and then that's because you're not being, I can't deal with a man who's gonna let me run over him.
Me
I won't even talk to you, deal with you,
either.
take your number. I'll stop a guy asking me for my number anywhere, gas station, restaurant, concert. Like, no, I just don't feel it. Is you attractive and everything? I don't feel it.
Right.
And I won't take his number. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just me. And I feel like real recognize real. You know
So
what I'm
you
saying?
said-
And if you,
If he come off as a nice vibe,
as
what
a
you saying?
nice guy, and say he just nice, I didn't had some nice guys approach me.
Mhm.
Or good guys, different type of men. And I felt something like, but I didn't feel, he's a nice guy, and he really is a nice guy.
Oh wow.
Minus the looks. I take it without the looks. That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna tell you this. I had a nice guy a while
You
back.
ran him in the ground.
No, I didn't run him in the ground, but I never even gave him the chance. Like, because he was just a little too nice. You know, just a little too nice. Like, everything I said, he was there. Oh, I need this. Here it come. This nigga was changing my oil. You know, he was doing all kinds of stuff.
Good guys finish last.
No, but let me tell you, he was just a little too nice. You know how they could just be so nice that it's just unbelievable when you so used to dealing with crap. See, that's what it is. Some women is just so used to dealing with crap.
Right,
When they get the nice one, they be like,
Right.
he is
If
so
he was
fake.
doing everything, I'll
You
learn
know?
to love you. I'll learn to love you. I'll learn to love you.
I
Or
couldn't.
you know what, it might be
And I wasn't
a
If
attracted
flaw
I can.
or
That's what it
something
was.
that you're not attracted to. And that
I
is
wasn't
sad
attracted to
because
him.
it is some nice guys. I'll probably be throwing away the nice guys. But anyway, yeah. It's not, I don't know what it is. It is something that we lack when we see something that's really good for us. Because we might be like, ugh, I don't know. Like,
That's what I'm saying. I think
Like,
you have
it's
to
just-
learn to adapt.
I don't know why
and
we
adjust.
want everything. I guess we agree. Is that what it is? We always want
That's
everything
right.
in the package,
I mean-
and nothing always comes in the
I
package.
also think it's
Not
a,
all of it comes in the
I
package.
think it's a society thing too, though. For real, like the good guy really ain't the thing right now. You know what I'm
That's the
saying?
aspect I was
Is that what it is?
speaking
Yeah, you know
from.
what I mean? Because like, all right, like you were saying, like the dude, he changed the oil, all that.
But it was more to it. I was trying to tell you I wasn't attracted to him because when he was changing my oil, like, I just wasn't, I just wasn't attracted to him.
So
Like,
that means
And
you're
that's
not a
what my
user.
thing-
Right,
Because you're
right.
not going to
Right.
use them because you got your own.
Right.
Right.
And
So,
so-
you don't need him to do that.
and then
but
not
without
only
it.
that, but I was trying to explain to him that I did want to maintain a friendship with him,
Right.
but he didn't want that. You know, he was like, he proposed to me like 4 times.
Wow.
You know, and I ain't gonna lie, I was friends with him for a long time, like years, 6, 7, 8 years, something like that.
Right.
But I had to cut it off because it was getting to the point where he was trying to overstep the boundaries, and he wanted to go further, and I didn't. And like I said, he kept proposing, and he wanted to be my man, and he tried to pick my daughter up from daycare, you know, do all the stuff like that, and I just wasn't having it. Like, I wasn't attracted to him, I wasn't gonna lead him on, and I wasn't gonna be fake. I don't have it in me. I can't do that. I was like, it's over, you know? So as a nice guy, like, I mean, what is it that you have to offer to a woman that maybe they're not even being able to get past that, you know, the nice shield to see? Like, what are some things that you, as a nice guy, can offer a woman?
I mean, before that, even in that perspective, I wouldn't say, in a sense, that good guys finish last.
Right,
I would say it in a theory, because it do go back to the whole part where you said dealing with the woman as well.
right,
You know what I mean? Like, to me, when it comes to women in the perspective of how us as good guys get treated, I look at it as in stages.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you
Yeah,
know
that
what I
makes
mean?
sense.
Like in the early stages, like think about it back in school. Like everybody in school wanted to date the quarterback.
Right.
You know what I mean? The it guy with the two-door car, you know what I mean? Quarterback. And the bookworm, you know what I'm saying, he didn't get a lot of play.
I don't know, because I dated the bookworm.
But
But I was
What
a
you
bookworm
saying?
in school.
Oh, well, see, yeah, it matched.
But
though,
I
you
see
know
what
I'm
you're
saying?
saying. though.
I totally understand what
Yeah,
you
you know,
because it
I
was,
mean-
you know, society as a whole.
Right,
That's
right,
what you
right, right.
I
You know,
totally
And
understand.
I feel like now that I'm older, you know what I'm saying, and like I understand my own good guy moral, you know what I'm saying? Like I see women now in my age bracket coming back to that. Like, oh,
And I was just getting ready
You
to
never
say that.
left it.
yeah,
Shout out to
yeah, you
you.
know what I'm saying?
I was just getting ready to
She
say
left it
that.
hanging though.
Older women, like once she did this.
Right.
Once we get older, we look for that nice guy.
Right.
Now I can honestly say I remember back when I was about 26 and I was at a bar. Matter of fact, I think it was Rhinos, and this guy came up. He was like, "Wow, you are beautiful, and that dress is really nice." And I said, "If you don't get out my damn face."
Exactly.
And I was with my best friend, and she was like, "Now if he would have came up like, bitch, that dress is banging, you would have went." And she was telling the truth because I would. Because back then, you know, I was looking for the one who had his pants all the way down here. I'm looking for the one with the gold on every tooth in his mouth. That's just how I was back in the day.
It's
You know,
And
but
some
now,
women like those
Right.
men who will punch you in the face,
Right.
smash you up against the cabinet. I love you, girl. I love you.
I do this because I love you.
Right.
You love me, like I don't love myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you shouldn't love.
Right.
That's why I
me.
say I come in stages. Like even as a man, like you know, back in my younger days, I used to look at females like that. Like, damn, she got a fat ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's all I worry about. You know what I mean?
And see, I would have
Yeah.
tuned it out like,
Yeah, it'd be different now. Like if I go to a bar or something like that now, like looks as in an older man, and, like I still value that. Don't get me wrong, you know what I'm saying? But like I think about it differently. You know what I mean?
I totally understand because once I hit 30, you know, and I walk in a bar or club and I'm like, pull up your damn pants.
Right.
You know, it's like something, like I was downtown one day and they was like, oh, Anna forgot where she came from. Nah, nigga, I just ain't coming back.
Right.
I ain't never gonna forget where I came from, but you not gonna bring me back.
Right.
How about that?
Right.
I'm done with that. You know, now I be like, ooh, look at him. Go get your hair cut. You too old to have braids.
Right.
You know, but back in the day, that was what.
It was what it
That's-
is.
yeah.
Right. And it's just stages. That's how I feel like. You know what I
You
mean?
get a little bit more mature
Right.
in each little.
Right.
You know what I gotta honestly say? I was 16 and I was talking to somebody 26. You know what I'm saying?
And
I
where
did
was your
not
mama?
deal with.
Right.
Listen, my mom, my brother, everybody told me to get away from him. But the thing was,
She the sneak.
honestly, not only was I dealing with him, and it was the exchange of he was doing and giving me without me having to do anything.
Right.
And I didn't deal with the guys in the neighborhood. None of them could say I was. No matter what I did, nobody knows but me and that person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the first time I had sex with him was the first day he moved out the neighborhood. I ended up getting pregnant. But at the same time, I got pregnant because my first love got somebody pregnant. And I wanted a baby so bad. I was just craving towards my heart being broke that I had a love child. You know, I wanted my daughter. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, my attraction was not for the guys. I needed, you know, other little girls, they on the bus. I like to ride.
And see,
You
that's
know what I'm saying? I like to get a ride. You pay for my cab, you pay for me and my friends to go out. I like that.
And that's the
You
funny
know, and that's
thing.
how I said I can learn to love a person because I did
You
not
can.
love him.
You can't,
You
and
see,
I can totally,
He broke my relationship up because I,
can
didn't
relate
want
to
to be
that.
with him.
I can relate to what she just said because, like I said, I liked the bad boys back in the day, but that wasn't who I actually fell for.
Right.
Like I have 2 kids by a good boy. Like he was a good guy when I met him. He ended up being a bad guy. I don't know if I corrupted him. I'm not taking the blame for that. I'm not taking the blame for that. But he was literally.
story.
Yeah, right. He was right. He was a good guy when I met him. I mean, lame as hell. He was that one type of lame. And I was not, and anyway, I was like 19. I'll never forget it because I had my own apartment and everything. And I met him. And I mean, when I say lame, he was the lamest. Like he worked at Shell gas station. You know, he was just lame. I don't even know. He was really cute, but he was just lame. And I don't even know what even attracted me to him. But once I got with him, I was with him for 11 years. We had 2 sons.
Right.
You know, and he ended up being like the drug dealer with the golds in his mouth. Like he ended up that way.
But you could have helped mold him just like he was molding you to be a better man, right? You know, can you look back on that and see
I
where
ain't do nothing
you could
to him.
have did?
I ain't do
She
nothing
could
to
have
him.
did things differently to help grow that relationship.
No,
You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
about to place the blame on my brother because he started hanging with my brother. That's what it was. I'm blaming it on my brother.
So brother, she blames
Yeah.
you.
He started hanging with my brother, and then next thing you know, he walked in the house with 4 goals, and I'm like, okay then. Boom.
Start becoming her boo.
I will say this though, like, I mean, I've actually tried that whole role before. I mean, like me, like, I'm the type of dude, like, from where I was from the ghetto, like, straight hood, Detroit streets. And, like, my friends, they were those bad boy, you know, gangs, everything like that. And I actually tried that life. But if it's not in you to be you,
Exactly.
then it's
It's
not
not.
gonna work.
Woo.
And then somebody
That
who,
was powerful.
and somebody that's
I'm
real,
feeling that. That was powerful.
Right.
It's resonating. That was
and somebody
powerful
that's
what you
real is
said.
gonna see right through that
Right,
anyway.
exactly.
If that's not you, like if you talking to me and you like, yeah, what up? I'm like, if you don't shut
Right,
your
yeah,
ass up, cause I'ma see right through
Right,
it. You know, if you dealing with somebody that's from the hood,
Right, exactly.
cause I'm definitely from the hood,
Right.
and hood knows hood.
Right.
You know, so I be looking at you like,
No, that's not you.
That's
Right.
not you.
You know what I mean? And then it goes down to, like I was saying, with the society thing. I mean, like now, everybody want to be Gucci and Waka
Right,
and, you know,
right.
and
It's a
everything like
shame.
that. Like, and it's crazy how people follow the trend of society. You know what I mean? Like, it's
It
not.
is.
It's really not in to be a good guy. You know what I mean? And like I was dealing with a young lady in a sense, like she didn't understand how I wanted to open the door for her.
Wow, because she wasn't used to
Yeah,
that.
you know what I
She
mean?
was under 30.
Yeah, she was.
Well, there you
And
go.
that's
But at
good.
the same time, once you've been treated like a queen by a king, you can't go back to dealing with the local peasants.
Cause I'm not touching the door.
Right,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I'm not touching the door. I'ma look at you. You don't see this donut?
Right.
Do you see this donut?
And at the same time, if
Yeah.
you don't open it, then I'm just gonna open it, and that's the
That's gonna
last
be it.
day.
That's gonna be it.
You know, and it's things like that you come into contact with people, and you never know why the relationship didn't continue. You never know
Right.
why you didn't continue to talk to that person, because it's the little unspoken things. Because the
I feel like there's some things I
Some
shouldn't have to
maybe-
say.
Some maybe,
Right. The nonverbal
women
speak
need to be
volumes.
taught what a good man is, because
Right.
that was gonna be one of my questions.
Right.
What do we consider a good man?
Yeah, that's true.
You know, because it depends on what that woman feels what is a good man to them.
Right.
And if they don't know, that's how they end up in certain relationships.
Right.
And they might be in an abusive relationship, but they think it's a good relationship
Right,
because that's all they know.
And see, that's why nowadays women,
Jostling him
that's
in.
why nowadays women have to set examples for your daughters.
Exactly.
You know, you have to talk to your daughters.
Right.
I call my daughter young lady all the time. So nobody will ever be able to call her different.
Right.
You know, come here, young lady.
Right.
No, you're not going to be able to call her nothing different because she's not going for it.
Right. It does start with in home though. Like sometimes
Right.
what your example is would go into adulthood.
And fathers need to teach their boys
Oh,
to
yeah, how to-
become men.
Right.
And
Yeah.
how
Nice
to
guy.
be courteous.
Very,
Right.
And how to treat a woman. A lot of these men out here do not know
Right.
how to treat a woman because
Right.
they're not been taught or they haven't seen it in the household. Because you got so many households out there
True.
that's so messed up, you know.
And that's
And
men
it
and
really is important, you guys,
It
for
is.
you to focus on being a good
Role
role
model.
model towards your
Correct.
children.
Right.
Because if you don't, you're gonna fail at the end. Trust me.
That's even with the girls, though. Like, the fathers need to be in them girls' life because
Exactly.
my first love was my dad.
Right.
You know, my mom and dad been married for 38 years, so all I know is my mom and my dad.
Right.
My first love was my dad.
Right.
You know, my dad is an example of what I want my husband to
But
be.
you know what?
You know what I'm saying?
And that is so true for her to say that fathers need to teach their daughters.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have, or if you're raised in a home where you have mother and father you don't even have to, you're gonna learn by
Right,
seeing it
seeing
at home like that. If
That's-
it's done rightly, because I
We were just
knew
talking about
how
that.
it was supposed to be, because even though my household is not the way it should be, but my daddy and my mother raised me of knowing how it was supposed to be.
Right.
I love my father dearly. Can't nobody tear me and my daddy apart. But when I say that is a good man, he's a
Right.
good man.
And they were back
good,
then.
good man.
They were back then because all I remember seeing with my dad, even if my mom and my dad fought, we never seen it.
Never
Right, yeah,
seen it.
exactly.
We never seen it
Never
because
seen it.
the only thing I seen was my dad going to work first shift. You know, my mom going to work third shift, coming home, my daddy leaving first shift. My daddy getting paid on Fridays, my dad bringing my mama the money.
Right.
Taking enough for his cigarettes and beer and giving it to my mama. Here, baby, pay the bills, giving us our allowance. That's all I remember. I remember my dad, you know, cooking. Because my dad's from Alabama, so he
You
throw
know,
down.
my daddy cooked.
Right.
yeah.
And my
Cooking,
mama.
cleaning. Like my dad, to this day, I can call my dad, and I'm grown as hell, and I can call my daddy like, Daddy, you know, can you come clean up this kitchen? You know, I'm tired. My daddy like,
But
baby, I'm on my
even
way.
if parents did have spits and spats, was you raised what goes on in your home stays in your
And it
home.
stays in
Right.
your
So
home. Nowadays,
it-
it doesn't.
Right.
No, that's true.
Right.
And not
The
because
kids
we
got
got
too
the,
much in their
the
talking and
internet
their
era,
exploring
camera
things
phone
too
era,
much.
invasion of privacy era.
Exactly.
And I was raised where our dysfunction is not your dysfunction.
Right.
And what's normal to us isn't normal to you. So
Right.
respect people and just observe. Don't make judgments. Don't try to become
Well,
friends.
you know what?
Pay attention to character.
Right.
That signs will be given to you to dictate whether you can stay or not. If it's three things, if you can't answer it's yes, good for me, good for my family, and good for my well-being, then you don't do it. So like we all agree,
Right.
it starts with the home.
It
But
does.
even if you self-made, because I had a two-parent family, I had issues and things that went on that was deep. Like, you know,
We did.
my dad had children outside of my mom's marriage with somebody in our neighborhood. So deal with that in the hood, moving from the suburbs to the hood. And all this stuff happens, you know, but we were so strongly raised
Just the way
with
you
love
were.
and two parents that decided that we're gonna at least stick it out and make sure they become productive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And having to deal with peer pressure and the whole neighborhood knowing, and I still remain who I am. I'm who I am to this day.
And
And
you still
anybody
have
that I know can
respect
vouch for me,
For
and
your father and for your
it's for
mom.
my mother, and I love and respect me. So that's why if I deal with you at any point in time in life,
I will,
I respect you.
I will
I
say-
respect you. I don't deal.
And I'm loyal.
right. I will
I'm loyal as hell.
I will say that is a very main point that it comes from the home, but also, you also have to understand, like me, as an example, I didn't come from a two-family home.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And like, but
Self-made,
yeah,
like she
yeah,
said.
you know what I'm saying? In that same sense.
Yeah.
But like, people shouldn't use that also as an excuse.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because like, my
I
mother,
totally said it.
I
you know,
totally agree.
my mother, she like, even though I didn't have the manly, you know,
Mhm.
role to show me how to treat a woman, my mother set a standard on how to treat a woman. Like I actually
Exactly.
learned,
We just
you know what I mean, how to do that as well. So it's not an excuse.
Oh, let me tell you something. For instance, my husband, he had his mom in the household, but his dad wasn't so much, involved.
Right.
He's a good man.
Oh yeah.
A good man. He got wrapped up in some stuff,
Right.
but when I say a man that will pay the bills and
Right.
take care of home,
Right.
that's him all day long.
And he probably looked at it
All
as
day long.
he didn't want to turn out like that.
Right.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So he took a
Exactly.
negative and made it into a
Yeah,
It's
positive,
either
which made
break your
made
cycle
him into
or
a
repeat your
a
cycle.
beautiful
Yeah,
man.
better,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the good thing, that everybody is different.
Right. Right.
Some people take it as negative and make it into a positive,
Yeah,
when some
exactly.
people, we're all
And ladies,
different.
if you dealing with in a situation where you actually are raising your kids on your own, you have to sit your kids down and you have to tell them like, look, we in this together. Either we gonna come out of this okay, or we gonna come out of this effed up.
Right.
But we got to work together. We in this together. It's me and you.
You got to have a relationship with your children,
You
and
do.
you got to talk to them, because if you don't, you gonna reap it later. So your best bet is to always be in your children's life. You can't wait till later and say, "Well, I'm sorry, I'm
They
sorry."
cry out. They cry
Right.
out.
I mean, they will listen to you, but your best bet is to nip it in the bud right now. Be that mother and that father to
Right.
your kids,
That's right.
because your kids is you. That's what emulates you is your kids later in the future.
That's true. And you know what? I see a whole lot, and we getting off topic, but
Oh,
this
yeah.
is so interesting. You know what I see a lot in kids? Like, a lot of kids will wait. I mean, nowadays you don't even have to talk to a kid down about the other parent.
Oh, yeah.
Because they see it.
Right.
You know, they see it.
Right.
You never have to be like, oh, he's no good, this and that, because eventually the kids see it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then they look for somebody to cover that hole. And that's where all the holes
They can't
and the
go to
wars
the
come
mother
from.
or the father because
Right.
the mother cussing the father out in front of the whole neighborhood. Talking about your
And-
kids ain't gonna be shit because you ain't shit, nigga.
Right.
And the kids standing right there looking at the
Right.
mama and the daddy in the neighborhood like I'm so embarrassed, I'm so ashamed. But that's still your family. That's still your mama and your daddy. So when that mama and that daddy end up coming back together that next day or 2 or 3 and sitting together, the point is you still have a chance to change your circumstances and choose to change it if you want. But if you don't choose and make that choice to do better, hurt people gonna continue to hurt people.
Very.
You know what I'm saying? And we're going to take a break right now.